Alright, so we back. Ayutthaya. Indochina. They're a thing. The reason I'm putting them in this miners category, is because they've made a point about not getting involved in any wars personally. At all. Ever. Like, they got this, but as you can see, this is all Shinto now. Wonder why. So much like this was Shinto, and now, like, they're becoming it. So yeah, the reason why they're a miner is just because they're not getting involved in the real diplomacy. They're selling mercs, and that's it. So yeah, first things first, let's look at this system. Let's look at this reforms. Mandela system. I'd change off of that and go to plutocracy, but like, in all reality, I don't even know, because they're in a horrible point. They're a horrible section. Most thing they can do is sell their merchants off, as like they could transfer for yuan. They could transfer this 10% out into here, or they could transfer it away. People pay them, etc., etc. Because they really have no trade power anywhere, and this is a starter node with 7 ducats. So merchant, in all reality, I would change. But I'd also, if I was more active, I'd also move my my home node to like Malacca, and then push down into Malacca and fucking keep the money. They've got currently 1,200 ducats of loans. Right, this. 15% manpower, that's fine. Autonomy change, it's fine. I would take the cultures, just because there's a lot of cultures in this melting pot, and they've also taken the it's here, isn't it? They've also taken the Jinan region, so that's again more cultures that they have to deal with. And it's just more money. Like, it's fine getting the extra autonomy reduction, but it's not really needed. Nobles of the robe. If this is an RP thing, sure. But if it's not, why? Like, that 10% advisor cost, it's great. This 10% and this free admin policy is also great, because you are likely going to have a few admin policies. Yeah, you already do. It's the only ones that you have it in right now. So, questionable. General estates, 10% production thing. It's the one I typically always choose no matter who I am. So it's either parliament, production, or aristocratic court, which will give them that increased army tradition. And honestly, in their position, I would still pick the 10% production modifier, because they need an income, because they somehow are in debt and losing money. Well, not, you know what I mean. 5 states, always, and this one is very smart. Get that 0.1 yearly absolutism. Eventually, you know, they'll have a lot. So looking at this thing, not surprisingly, trade's the lowest, then production, then taxation. Trade, then production, then taxation. They're spending money on harbour fees for Austria. Right, because they they were trying to send Condottieri over here to someone, I forget who, doesn't really matter. They got a lot of forts, don't know why it's needed. Honestly, if someone attacks them, like if Yuan attacked them, Hindustan's probably going to back him up. If Hindustan attacks them, Yuan will either back him up or kill him. Like, their only ally is Hindustan. And yeah, if Yuan attacks, which then they have to worry about Russia, Timurids, etc. If Yuan attacks, then Hindustan will either drop the alliance and attack him later, or defend him. If Hindustan attacks, Yuan will either protect them so that Hindustan doesn't get bigger, or it will just attack him as well. Like, they're in a weird spot regarding diplomacy as well. Like, Japan and Manchuria, they'll probably attack if someone else attacks. Like, it's a weird point of, like, it's such a thin country as well, so the fort placement is really like that one's not needed. That fort isn't needed. This fort isn't needed either, in my opinion. If they have a fort here and a fort here, this one isn't needed. Especially as they won't have naval superiority, I'd get rid of this one 100%. That one's fine. Get rid of this one. That one's fine. I'd have one here, maybe. I said have one here, I'm pretty sure. Basically, you want it one back from the coast on each place, at minimum. Because you won't have a navy to protect it. So, attackers, if they have naval superiority here, will have a +2 to 3 for blockading it without supplies, even though the entire country's behind it. So it's like, why does it matter? And if it's not blockaded, it'll have a +2 to the attackers will have a -2 to the dice roll to siege. But seeing as most countries will have a naval advantage over the Ayutthaya, just take it off the coast, put it inland. It's not worth it. This one, etc. You just want them in, like, you want a double line of, you want one line, second line of forts, one line, second line of forts, and then 1 or 2 down here to protect from the Malacca. This one's fine. I'd put one here instead of the capital. I'd put one, oh, as well as the capital, I'd put one here, because, yeah, farmlands, actually, it doesn't really matter if there's a fort there. I'd remove that, put a fort there. Did he name that to Fields of Rice? He totally did. Yeah, so, let's look at this. He has debt for some reason, I assume to embrace the institution, which is costing him 4 ducats. He's recently stated a lot of land, which means he needs to have a lot of admin to do it. 792, I'm so used to looking at the bottom, 950 dev overall. So yeah, he just needs to core a bunch of this stuff. He's colonizing somehow. I assume he's bought it. It's the only way. It's like, he doesn't have a colonist. He has to have bought it. Like, if anyone knows why. Like, as an event, he sold this land, which he somehow colonized. Like, I'm better confused. Or Japan colonized it for him. Yeah. But yeah, he's recently conquered some of this Malayan shit, etc. He's going to convert to Shinto. Very questionable, because when it's at, when the karma is at, like, the middle ground, you have +5 discipline and +2 diplo rep, and you also have this 10% advisor cost, and you have the tolerance of heretics, so, like, all this Shinto land is currently giving him no negatives. But, like, why do you want to be Shinto? It gives 10% morale of armies and those, like, isolation things. I've never played Shinto, so I don't even know if it's, like, separate ones for different nations or, like, standardized ones, because I know Japan has a ton, but I doubt other nations have a ton. So, like, why are you changing to this 10% morale when you can instead have this 5% discipline? Which even now at 2.5% is still better than 5% morale. 10% morale. Oh, my throat is starting to hurt. Oh, I should have coughed louder than that. Really big problems with tech. Huge problems with tech. Yeah, this is another reason why I say he's a minor. Because he has this huge problem with tech. Negative, with the 0.25 corruption. Fort maintenance again, delete some forts. Diplomatic expenses, cancel those harbour fees. State maintenance. The fuck is this? Development cost, okay. I'd turn that off, you don't really need it. I'd turn manpower on for your capital, just because I do it with most countries. Every country I've, like, ever played, I turn it on, except currently I think I'm doing, yeah, institution. Be Yeah. So basically, yeah, yeah. He needs to do his estate clicks to get it up to 150. Another 150 here, but he's already done that. He's already done his nobility as well. So again, it's only this, but he needs to catch up in tech. He can leave it at 15 and just not do it any further until he gets to 19 army tech, and then he should do his Diplo against. That way he doesn't get corruption. He's got decent trade goods. Silk, really good, really good. Chinaware, also really good. Tea, I think, gets increased later, but as it is, because he's a production leader bonus, he gets a 10% increase on it. Really, he's a production leader. Huh, he is. What's the dev on all these? 2, 3, 2, 2, 2, 5, 9, 3, 2. That's surprising. How is he the production leader on all this? Like, what? I feel like Portugal or I should be the production leader. That's crazy. Yeah, Japan, we're not going to talk about Japan. Country wars, they're currently just cleaning up the loss of the Indo-Chinese states that were here from the start of the game. Yeah, because he subbed in, he didn't sub in, he came in late as Ayutthaya, like 2 sessions ago. Again, don't need that. Production buildings, build them all around. Taxation buildings, build them all around. He's already been doing that. He's been doing that pretty well by the looks of it. Or it could have just been the other nations doing it. Again, I'd say focus the manufactories. Barracks, yeah, do some barracks, my dude. Regiment, increase that. Yeah. Trade power, there's no need to build trade power because you're in no contested nodes. Up here's contested, here's contested, here's contested, but you're going to be selling that to someone, or just not doing anything with it, so there's no point. Stability, don't push it up because you've got all these to worry about, which will increase your income by about, I'd say, 30 overall, looking at the cost of everything, just like as a basis. 20 to 30 income overall there, without even looking at the trade goods. Yeah. So, state firearms regiments. I assume you have decent military professionalism. See, the higher your professionalism is, the less condottieri you can rent out, which is kind of a big no-no for you. I wouldn't have. I'd stay at around 20% to maybe 40, maybe. But yeah, finish coring that. These cost so much. I'd give these to the Malacca, and then annex it later if that's like the end goal. Like if you are gonna annex them, because Jesus Christ, that's a lot. That is 120, right? 141, yeah. Oh boy. Yeah. Yeah, including all this. Yeah, it's crazy. Okay. Yeah. Coding country, you can kind of do that because, I mean, you can't, but you can. You know what I mean? See if you're like in a position theoretically to do it. I doubt you will be, but if you are, I'd do it. I do you even need to? I don't know. You have 100% right. You have 113. Yeah. I don't know if you need to do it. I think you'll get to 90 without the when you get 100 legitimacy. So then it's a kind of a meh. You nearly have this. You have that. You'll get the 5 universities pretty easily. Again, everyone, universities are around. Time to start building those. But yeah. Again, build manufactories, upgrade the defense line, but make it only the bare minimum. because if you get attacked, you're going to be on the back foot anyway, so there's no point putting your economy on the back foot for these forts. Yeah, and again, manpower fields. Once you've fixed this 4 ducats that you're losing, kill. Let's see how cute these guys are. Oh, look at that little guy. Oh, he's so cute. That gun's pretty low res though. I don't have most of the unit packs. Again, yeah. I love the little hats. They're so low res. Boof. Boo 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 boo.